welcome to our digital campfire story, episode 9. Woo! 9 already. Damn,
Yeah,
girl. All right, today the title and the story of our episode is Jen the Kangaroo.
Weird. Hey, I'm Jen.
I'm Yvonne.
And we're from Road Trip Explorers. We have this series called Digital Campfire Stories where we sit in our living room and pretend we are at a campfire. We're in Germany, we can't really do a campfire, but we try to make the best out of it. And we talk about our experiences and stories, so hopefully you can learn something from them or just pretty much laugh.
And enjoy.
Yeah.
Be entertained. Exactly. Jen the Kangaroo. Obviously, we're talking about our road trip, camper van road trip in Australia, land down under.
Yes, well, obviously means because I think Australia is the only country where you can actually spot kangaroos.
I think so, yeah.
We should Google that, but I think it's true, yeah.
Yeah. And here we are. We don't believe in zoos.
Yeah.
We don't believe in zoos or sanctuaries in terms of, sanctuaries when they help the animals, absolutely, but not sanctuaries to go there as a tourist, pet the animals all over and still see them in a confined place.
Yes, yeah, we don't, I think last time we went to a zoo was a few years ago. We went to a zoo together once.
Huh?
Yes, where was this? Was it in the US?
No.
We went to a zoo once and then we looked at the animals and we're like, this makes no sense. Like everybody is locked up and then what you're supposed to walk up to a cage, read about them and see them. For me, it's just sad. It's a sad thing to see the animals all like confined. But that's not the point of
That's
the
not the
story.
point. So the point is we love encounters with wildlife in nature, in the natural habitat, trying not to intrude also. Obviously we are curious and want to see them, but we don't feed them just to get a picture with them or anything. That's not what we are into.
Yeah.
So Australia, obviously, wildlife paradise. Koalas, kangaroos, and so many more.
Wombats
And so many more.
Snakes, but we didn't see much of those.
But those two, I think, were all the way on our list
Yeah.
to discover.
Well, also these little cute ones, the quokkies, but then I found out... Quokka. We'll put a little cute picture here. But then I found out they're only on the west part of Australia. Ooh, and we were in the eastern part, right?
Yeah,
so...
we did Melbourne to Brisbane.
Yeah.
And we found two amazing spots that allow you to see koalas and kangaroos in their natural habitat in abundance.
Yes.
Without many tourists.
And for free, I must say,
Yes.
also, right?
Yeah.
So the first spot was Pebbly Beach, and that's where we found the kangaroos. So Pebbly Beach, it's a beach, and kangaroos just live there. I, for one, did not know that kangaroos live at the beach. I thought they were like up in the forest or something. They don't. The thing is that you have to imagine the Australian beach is that there's a forest. I think that's how it used to be. I told you, right? I think that's how it used to be back in the day, where there's a forest and then there's the beach, right? Nowadays, with everything being built up everywhere, you rarely see that forest background close to a beach. It's usually hotels or restaurants or a promenade. But there's...
Not in Australia.
Not in Australia. So you see the forest and the beach, and then there are the kangaroos. And someone told me that when it's super hot outside, they go in the ocean and they swim. What? Yeah, that is something that I totally did not expect from kangaroos.
But let's rewind that a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I jumped.
So we found we discovered by research Pebbly Beach. It has a campground. We got a spot, and it's about 3 to 4 hours south of Sydney, just to put that into perspective for you. And we exited the main highway on a little road that basically drove through that forest that Jen just described, and it was a gorgeous drive already. We were the only car, beautiful forest, sun peeking through. It was just, this picture perfect road trip moment also. And we drove the, winding street through the forest, and then the street, it was still a 2-lane street, and then it became a 1-lane street. It became even smaller, so that it also started to go downhill. Downhill winding, all the way to the campground, which is it was a totally off-grid remote campground, no ranger on site, no reception on site. You definitely had to book in advance. There was no way for you to sign up or get a spot there. So we basically had to drive around the campground to find our name. Actually, no, the reservation said the number, to find the number. And that actually had the little paper with our name on it also. And that was it. No showers, very remote.
Yeah.
And also only pit toilets. And here comes Lucas, the dog that we dog sit currently, from our friend who is traveling. So hello, Lucas. Say hi to the camera. Come on. Now we have to show your face since you're here already. Look at that. That is the cutie pie. Woo. Okay.
He can stay here.
Yeah, he can stay here. So a very remote campground, which for us was gorgeous because it's really the core of camper vanning, right? Also no cell reception, no internet, really off grid.
Yes.
And
I must say, like, big RVs,
don't
it's
fit.
really, but we saw a couple, right? And we were wondering how did they get there because it's really compact. It's very bumpy. It's dirt roads.
I mean, they do fit. Sorry, they do fit.
They do fit, but
it's hard to get there.
Yeah.
Also, the street is tiny.
Yeah.
You really have to be an experienced large RV driver.
Yeah.
I would say.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we got to the
We got to the campground. The campground is still in the forest. Still surrounded by trees and woods, and then you have to walk. I would say
trees and woods. What do you mean by woods?
the woods. It's forest.
The forest. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
And like trees and woods. Well, I know that's a palm tree. Oh man, it's over here. You can't see. Anyways, and it's about a 5-minute walk to the beach. You kind of cover a boardwalk, some grassy area, and then you have the lookout over the bay. It's a small bay, but just like Jen described, it's like a cove. And you just have kangaroos left, right, and center. It's amazing.
Yeah, like everywhere.
And all they do is
Tons.
eat the grass and poo.
Immediately afterwards, they're literally eating and pooing at the same time, and they jump and they hop around. So we were amazed by the amount of kangaroos, and we actually saw one that had like a baby kangaroo with them, remember? And they would like jump all together, and at some point the baby kangaroo ate from the mama kangaroo.
Yeah, it was no longer in the, what is it, the sack?
Yeah, the sack, yeah.
It was no longer in it, but it just put its head in it to drink. That was cute.
Yeah, but which, by the way, the sack is not really a sack. It's like a hole in the kangaroo,
It's like a hole,
right?
yeah, but it stretches, I guess.
It stretches, yeah. It was so entertaining, and all of this without being in a zoo, without like paying anything, and especially not petting them, right?
I would say there were about like 15, 20 other people that were staying at the campground, but they were all spread out, so it was never like mass cinema.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And there was never like more than, I would say, a group of 5 people next to a kangaroo.
Yeah, maximum.
Maximum.
Yeah.
I would say even maximum.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, and we saw the sunset there, and we took very nice pictures. We can put a couple here.
Very peaceful, everything.
Very peaceful. Yeah. And finally, we have seen kangaroos. The whole trip until now, this was day maybe number 4
or 5.
Yeah, of our road trip. And all the time I'm like, where are the kangaroos? Where are the kangaroos? And at some point, was we were walking, I don't remember where, we saw a couple of them jumping, but they're fast, huh? When they run, they like sprint. And we saw them just for a millisecond. I'm like, no! But here we had the perfect time to actually see and analyze how a kangaroo looks like, which they're so cute.
It's
I'll put another
super cute.
really
They've
cute
got
picture here.
massive claws, so also here, don't mess with them.
Yeah.
I mean, they were quite friendly in that sense, and
They were super peaceful.
They were peaceful. You could get up quite close. Sometimes they're also curious and like sniffed you.
Yeah.
And then obviously I held my hand out once just to see what would they do. But that's about it. Please no feeding. Please don't ever feed wildlife.
Yeah.
And we had a peaceful, beautiful evening. And the next morning we had breakfast on the beach, more or less, well, like on the plateau overlooking the beach, and went down again to play with the kangaroos. And that's when Jen the kangaroo happened.
So it was morning. It was early in the morning.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 6:30, 7.
Just after sunrise, yeah.
And actually the kangaroos were waking up, which was crazy. And then by them waking up, they meant that they would like stretch up and like kind of like scratch their chest and their belly and like totally stretch.
Yeah.
It was so cute. And so I like got next to one and then I stretched with him. You'll see a picture here. And that's ever since then, Yvonne, well, no, that's not true. She doesn't call me very often, but that's why we call this Jen the kangaroo.
Becoming, making buddies.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
So what's the lesson learned? You can definitely, I mean, the Australians, they probably laugh at us because they see kangaroos all the time. But if you have never been, and obviously I would say anyone that goes to Australia for the first time wants to see kangaroos.
I would say so. I mean, I don't know, right? But like we did.
Check out the area of Pebbly Beach. That entire area has plenty of kangaroos. Not only that one cove in case it is sold out, and be respectful. Appreciate wildlife, be respectful, enjoy it, observe them to also learn about their behavior
and how
and their habitat, and try to avoid paying entrance to see these beautiful animals that you can see in wildlife.
Ooh, another thing that we didn't mention is as we were getting ready as we were packing our van, do you remember?
Yeah.
This suddenly we hear some noises through the bushes and we're like, what's going on? And then this kangaroo like peeked out, and maybe we can put another.
So he jumped up to actually the campground area.
Yeah,
and was next to our van.
Yeah, it was literally next to our van, and we were packing up, and then we closed the car and we drove away and waved goodbye to the kangaroos. Yeah. So
beautiful experience.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. Australia's pretty cool. So if you have any questions, if you're planning a trip to Australia or anything like that, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Also, if you like our camper van stories, our digital campfire stories, then please be sure to subscribe. We'll be posting more content like this, and hopefully maybe Lucas will be more active or not. I don't know. He's just here sleeping. Until then, anything else we forgot?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep on camper vanning.
Woo-ha!